My brain. Too much love drives a man insane. Great balls of fire. Yeah. Welcome to Progtor Who, the Doctor Who and music podcast that does Doctor Who and songs and stuff. I'm your host, Bob. Hello. And I'm joined this time by a full ensemble. I've got John.
Hello.
Great balls of fire. Good lad. Suky. Great balls of fire. And back from his glue sniffing accident, we've got Craig.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good to be back. Hello.
On this show, we're reviewing the Peter Davidson adventure, The Visitation. We will be reading out your feedback, giving our scores. We'll be doing all sorts, playing tunes and all that. You know the drill by now, and if you don't, come along for the ride. Let's get on board this TARDIS.
Come on.
Who's put 50p in the dickhead?
Amazing. Intro done. Anyway.
Nice.
News time. News. I've got some news. Craig, why the fuck did you pick 42? It is the most bland and shit episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. We literally did not talk about it.
This.
I should have expected this, really. But
did you actually watch it?
Yeah.
Did you get so bored you sniffed glue? That's why you were off the last time.
I really was shocked by how much of a thrashing you gave this podcast, this episode. It was like you were clearly so bored just even talking about it, let alone even watching it. Oh, my heart went out for 42. And it's like, I love 42. I could see what you're all saying about it, that, you know, it's simplicity and things like that. But I suppose that's what I quite loved about it. As just an everyday Doctor Who episode. I think it's really quite action packed. I think, John, what you mentioned, you kept talking about kind of how sweaty it was, and I love that. It feels like really.
Sure, that was John and not Cliff.
Cliff did mention it as well, but
you talk about sweaty women, Craig.
I know, yeah, I remembered that bit. That went over my head. I fast forward that in case it gave me nightmares. And it was like it just. I love the grunge feel to it. I love the colours of it. I love the burn when he's kind of like going burn with me. I find it, and that scene where she's tapping on the window and it goes deathly quiet. I find it really dramatic. I think from the minute it starts to the minute it finishes, it is. Stop laughing, John. I can see you. It's like full on go for me, and I loved it the very first time I saw it. And to be honest, it was like. When you were just, it was personal, boys. It was like, oh my God, they're ripping apart my baby.
We did try.
I thought we were quite cool about it.
Yeah. Didn't you give
it as much as we could have done?
See, we kept. I think at the same time we were apologising to you, Craig, all the way through the episode because we just couldn't understand why it was so popular for you and the rest of us, and just couldn't see why it was that.
Well, Maybe it's just one of the choices that Craig, the Huffer Stimpson, does.
maybe as well. I love the real-time element. That was brand new to me when I saw this. And I love that counting down bit. Yeah, okay, I could see some of the simplistic flaws maybe that you said, but, you know, and I love the supporting cast. I think they're all really strong. And you all just slagged them off left, right, and centre. Even William Ash, that was one of my students. It was like,
what would you call it? What would you call it out of 10?
I think I gave it 9. I think 8.5 or 9. Yeah, definitely. No, because I'd already done it. I watched it really early in the morning before I even started doing the glue sniffing.
Well, good. Well, thank you for your positive review, Craig. Cool. Just anyone got any? You have a proper news, Suky, won't you?
Yes, we've got some proper news. There's a few things I've got. Another Time Lord Victorious entry, which is BBC Audio release, and it's called The Minds of Magnox, and it's going to be released on the 3rd of December. It's on BBC Audio and Vinyl Records, and it's going to be starring Jacob Dudman as the 10th Doctor. That's coming out. So that's if you're going to be following all these Time Lord Victorious things, which is spread out over so much media. This is one of these things going to come out.
Why is David Tennant not doing it?
He's busy, man, isn't he?
So is he impersonating him, kind of like?
Yes.
I don't know if I could cope with that.
Him, yeah, it's cheaper to hire Jacob Dudman, isn't it? Right, instead of paying big money for David Tennant. Unfortunately, we've had some deaths within.
Oh, fucking last. We're not deaths for ages.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't. say things like that.
Who did?
Oh, right. Okay. We've Philip Latham, right, who played Brucer in The Five Doctors, President Brucer. He died 20th of June. Then that was followed on the 29th of June by Lewis Mahoney. And he was a newscaster in Frontier in Space. He played Ponty in Planet of Evil, but he's for New Who people, he's best known as Old Billy Shipton, who's in Blink, who died in his hospital bed after being transported into the future, into the past, I should say. And then
he was old as fucking Five Doctors, wasn't he? How old was he when he died? Do you know?
Who? Lewis Mahoney. He was
no, the other one.
Philip Latham.
Yeah,
I think he was in his 80s. I think.
I was going to say, be knocking on like because he looked in Five Doctors, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in his 80s. But Lewis Mahoney's is going to be big missed because he was like a big activist for black actors within the acting tradition, right? And he was trying to give so many rights to these people. The other big one, right, was Earl Cameron, CBE. Now he died at 102 years old.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he was he had such a big, long career and so much landmarks within that career because he was one of the first actors to have a major role in a big British mainstream story film. Yeah. It was in Pools of London, 1951, and he's also one of the first black actors to have a leading role on television in a show called The Dark Man. But he's best known to us as Astronaut Williams in The 10th Planet, and he was like only the second black actor to have a talking part within Doctor Who. The only other bit of news I've got is for Take Your Seats podcast, which we've just released an episode with Deb, who's our lovely correspondent from Trek This Out podcast, and she was great. And then we got our next two episodes. We've got Phase 4, which is a horror sci-fi film with David Paul Morgan, and then we got Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Nick Treadwell.
I've not seen that for years.
Cool. All that's coming up. That's good. Have you got any news, John? Any podcast related news, John? Any podcast related news? The podcast you want to advertise that maybe someone's been on?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to get at. I just don't know why you're not saying it.
Because I want to give you something to say.
All right, now Shep's Deep Dive podcast has done Man Bites Dog, which was released today. Me and Bob watched it, reviewed it, and loved it. Despite the fact there's quite a lot of gang rape in it and shit. But, you know, it's...
You've got to watch it. You've got to watch it.
I don't want to watch it.
For it to make sense, you have to watch it. Anyway, yeah, check that out. It was interesting. Yeah, interesting affair. And also, don't forget, we've got the YouTube channel where we're putting everything up that we record up raw and unedited for to find out what goes on behind the scenes, which is it can come undone sometimes. It can come undone. I think that's it for the news, isn't it? Unless you've got a bit of news, Craig.
No, I thought I did have something. I was looking through my phone. I'm sure I took a picture. There was that thing about the 4 doctors or 3 doctors coming together, wasn't there? David Tennant, Jodie Whittaker, and Matt Smith. They did I can't remember what it was. They did a little clip of something, little chat or whatever. But I took a picture. Oh,
yeah, I saw that. It was very good.
Yeah, I can't remember the day. I only saw a bit of it. It lasted about 20 minutes, and I saw the beginning. But
we're on that YouTube.
Yeah. And I can't see it now.
What a lovely set of people they are.
Yeah.
You know, what a lovely set. It was really nice that I saw that. It was good. I saw it on YouTube. Yeah. So YouTube, we're on YouTube as well. Don't forget, just search Progtor Who. Right, I'm going to stick a trailer in and we'll get on to our first thoughts. Right, cool. Trailer done. Well, Suky Cack, you picked this, didn't you? Nice. That's for YouTubers. He's just changed his screen to some terrible episodes. Or some of his ex-girlfriends. Suky.
Looking at some it could be his fetish outfits, his mates.
Yeah. Why did you pick this adventure?
This is a story that I remember from my childhood. I was 11 years old when this was being shown, 1982, and it was so fast-paced. I loved the TARDIS team at the time with Adric Nissa-Teagan. Peter Davidson was a breath of fresh air after the really sort of dour season that Tom Baker had just done. And then this story came along and it was just great. It's just the fast-paced action of it, and I just remember coming home because it was on twice weekly, and just sitting there and thinking, "This is great." And I thought, yeah, we'll get the lads to have a good look at this, and that's why I chose it.
So your thumbs up for me then, Suky?
Yes, sort of, maybe. I'll tell you later, maybe.
Well, what's the fucking point of first thoughts? Just to get the
first
vibe,
thoughts.
isn't it?
Okay, yeah, okay. So, childhood memories can cheat, and this it's going to be like a sort of, it's okay, but it wasn't as well remembered as I thought.
Fair enough. Fair enough, John. This is new for you, Davidson.
Yeah,
new,
I quite like
new on the podcast.
I quite like to see Peter Davidson act. I, as you say, it was like I'd have been about the same age as Suky. You can't tell, but we were about the same age, and
older.
And yeah, and it was like I remember Peter Davidson fondly without being able to remember any specifics, and it was quite nice to see him, and you kind of get a good idea of what sort of Doctor he is, because I think this is quite early in his Doctor Who story stuff.
I think it's the second or third when he recorded it. It was recorded early on.
Yeah, well, he's I didn't remember any of the companions. I didn't remember Adric. I know about Adric, and yeah, I've got some opinions on him. And the story itself was a rocking great story. It rollicked along, and it was really interesting. I love the setting. I love the fact that they did something back in 17th century. It would have been.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the tying it in with the Fire of London stuff, but there you go. It just is what it is. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Good, nice one, Joe. So that's you, Davidson tick now. Off for you, Craig.
Very much like Suky, to be honest. I love this story. My memories of this, like he said, I was very much in love with the TARDIS team at the time. I was loving every minute of Doctor Who. I couldn't wait for it. And I have such lovely memories of this story. And I think I love the fact it had the kind of the historical, the nostalgia there. And to me, that twist of bringing in the Great Fire of London and the Plague. As a kid, this blew my mind. I thought it was truly, truly awesome. Never forgot it. But I really do agree that when I watch it now as an adult, it doesn't quite have that same longing and lust that maybe 42 would have for me. It's a nice story. It's really well done, but your memory cheats. I like what Suky said on that. You know, it's really sweet in my heart as a child, but maybe as an adult, a bit different.
Well, thank you, Craig. I mean, I'm obviously not old enough to remember watching this on the television, as we'll all know. But I mean, it's one I've watched loads, and I cheers, John. It's one I love loads, and yeah, and I've watched it loads of times. So yeah, and I watched it again on my nice Blu-ray, watched all the extras and that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It has one of my favourite moments ever in Doctor Who when Adric gets twatted by the android. So that's all good. Right. Well, before we get in deep, it's time for our first song. Now, this is a song by Suky. It's a remix that I did of a song that he wrote called "Get Me Dick Out for the YouTubers," but I've extended the version to 5.5 minutes. I haven't really.
What?
I haven't really. That's a joke. It's not. It's actually a fucking prog song on Progtor Who.
No way.
I'm bringing back the prog to Progtor Who, and it's one of our favourites, Stephen Wilson. With hang on. Oh no, well, we used to hear it every bloody week before, didn't you? And it's called "People Who Eat Darkness." Ooh. Yeah, I thought we'd not played any prog for a while.
No, I thought you'd sent in some Paul Weller, Suky.
I did. That ain't my song.
No, it's my song choice. I was teasing him about his dick out for YouTube.
I should really fucking listen, shouldn't I? Really?
Yeah, well, that'd be handy, wouldn't it? You are. I'm ready to go in deep.
Yeah.
So your microphone's going all right? If it's going all right, Craig?
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, look, I'm not. If you notice, I don't move. I keep my arms like that. Yeah, all good.
Like a pterodactyl.
I don't. Yeah.
You've also got to keep positive mindset, because your negative mind stuff can actually change your computer.
It is. I am loving. I'm literally. I'm licking the computer when you're not looking, just to show it how much I adore it.
We are looking, so we haven't seen you actually lick it. Lick it.
So, all right, I knew you'd do it. Wow.
Licking your computer. That's for YouTubers. Have you got your fact file?
I do indeed on the handy phone. Yeah.
Oh, move fast though. Just steady away. Just say when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah? Cool. Well, that was Stephen Wilson. People who eat darkness. So a bit of prog and a bit of Stephen Wilson, who've not played for a while. So it's good to hear a bit of Stephen Wilson. I'm sure you'll all agree. You're listening to Progtor Who, and we're reviewing the Peter Davidson adventure, The Visitation, and we're about to get in deep into our review. But before we do, we're going to come to Mr. Holiday himself, Mr. Glue Sniffer. I can't come into it. I've been sniffing glue. I've got a headache. Craig Simpson, back file. Give us it factly good.
I'll just have to say first, I'll just put it in your fact file. Sorry. Visitation, season 19. It was the fourth one in it. So, as you said before, really close to Peter Davidson starting. Suky already mentioned 1982, from 15th to 23rd of February. Obviously, twice a week. Peter Davidson's the Doctor, Matthew Waterhouse as Adric, Sarah Sutton as Nissa, who also looks like, who did you say, John? Was you that sent the picture through, wasn't it?
Out of Gotham.
Cameron by Condovia.
Yeah, it did. There was a real resemblance. Janet Fielding as Tegan Javanka, Michael Robbins as Richard Mace, and Michael Malaya as the pterodactyl leader. It was before it was Kinder, and afterwards was Black Orchid, which was the first time they'd had a two-parter in ages back then. Directed by Peter Moffat, who also directed State of Decay, Mordred Undead, The Five Doctors, The Twin Dilemmas, and The Two Doctors, and it was written by Eric Seward. He did some cracking Doctor Who, didn't he? Seward, sorry. State of Decay, Visitation, Mordred Undead, The Five Doctors, The Twin Dilemma. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I thought it sounded familiar. Visitation, Earthshock, Resurrection, The Daleks, Revelation.
He's going so well.
I know, I was so smooth there.
Yeah, he was also a script editor as well for a while, Craig. Don't forget.
I can't go, but it's better than last week. You didn't even know how many results there were in the poll of polls. Poor John and Suky, how are they meant to guess if they don't know it's out of 241, Bob?
I didn't really give a fuck, so it's fine. Go on then, poll of polls.
241 it's out of. Go on, John. Where's it going?
What? Sorry, what?
It's out of 241.
Right,
don't say you lost it. Where are you going to place it?
It's not terrible, but it's probably not brilliant, so... 105.
Yeah, fire away, Suky.
I'm going to go higher than that. It's still well remembered, so I'm going to go for about, say, 70.
Okay, finally, Bob.
I'm going to hit room 101. 101.
Ooh, Suky, you're furthest out, followed by Bob. Johnny's actually really close, actually. It came in at 110 out of 100. You said 105. You were dead close. It's pretty much just over halfway. It's very much an average story is where it's being placed. So that nostalgia, Suky, you're talking about, it's not quite there. 70 was quite high for this. So There we go. That's the fact. Nice and swiftly delivered.
That was
no
good.
mistakes hardly this time.
No, that was very good, Craig. I'm very impressed. So give it...
Hey! I clap myself. Pat on the back. Keep away from the microphone lead.
Give Craig the clap. Right.
I've had that many times.
You grumpy old man, Suky. What's your issue with this then now?
It's you can see there's loads of padding in there because there's a whole scenes of Nissa trying to set up this box. Right,
a vibrator.
Yeah, it's a massive vibrator.
It's a vibrating box out all the time.
There's scenes of them just walking in amongst the forests. There's just scenes of them just sitting around yapping. There's a whole TARDIS scene which was recapping the previous adventure.
I quite like that.
Yeah, I know it's a bit character building, but there's loads.
They're doing new fucking Doctor Who.
But they don't do it as much as they did in this story.
They do.
Right. They do it, but not as much as this story. This is a 4-part episode, 4-part story, but there was a lot of padding in it. Right, so that just did my head in. Because I remember it as a child, and it was like pterodactyl. There's a robot. There's the Doctor's about to be beheaded. There's a lot of running around. There's some action scenes fighting. And as a kid, you think that's great. But now you watch it again, you're thinking, yeah, I think they're trying to get from that scene to that scene. Or they're underrunning on this episode, so they're going to stick in Nissa moving a box across a corridor. Right,
you mean as a grown man watching a children's TV show, then talking about it on the internet with your friends who are also grown men?
What do you mean by that?
That's the way you perceive it now. You're a grown man reviewing a children's
Yes,
TV show
you
with
could say that.
all the friends.
You could say that.
But it's written for the family. Well, it's kind of family as well, isn't it? So it's got to have an element of adage to it. Yeah.
It's got some for the dads, hasn't it? It's got Tegan and Nissa.
Yeah, what you say, like John?
Something for the dads.
John's gone all laddie.
Yeah.
So it is something for dads, isn't it? You need something for dads at the time slot it was on, don't you?
Yeah.
And it was following the football, so they're already a bit rowdy.
Well, to be fair, though,
and it wasn't on. It wasn't. It's this midweek.
Midweek, that was.
Yeah, midweeks. These, yeah.
Yeah, but it's what it is. Is I think it's just gone down in my estimation because my memory of it was such a great show, great story, and it's just gone down. I mean, the Michael Media as a pterodactyl, he's fantastic. He's what he can try and do under all that flipping rubber that he's got on, to be able to make a really likable, villainous character. Right, is great.
You mean make him a character, really?
Yeah.
He's like, because it was the first animatronics as well, I believe, or some of the first animatronics that they had. And I think the guy that did him, I can't remember his name, he went off to America and got massive and made loads of money doing all animatronics over there.
He was so handsome. I remember there's a picture of him in the Radio Times in his studio. The guy that did all the makeup stuff for the monsters. Oh, and he had shorts on and a kind of vest top. And as a kid, I remember that very clearly. It kept me entertained for a while. He was lovely. Oh, yeah.
Embracing the serpent, were you, Craig? Right, cool. That's brilliant. That's in the directions we want to go in. So John, is this your first experience with Peter Davidson, then, really?
Yeah, I liked him as well. I thought. I mean, I've seen Hartnell being crabby, but I think I kind of got the idea that my first impression of his is that he was very young in this, and I kind of got the feeling it was like Matt Smith young. It was that kind of feeling. I got a Matt Smith vibe from him, a less calm Matt Smith, because he was a little bit more ratty.
Yeah, but I really liked with the companions he had.
I'm not surprised that. The bit when he goes at Tegan when she's about to she's going on, she's just going on and on and on, and he just goes and he bites his lip. I just thought that was brilliant. I thought he really just wants to say, shut the fuck up or go home. You're travelling through fucking time, you fucking ungrateful bastard. You know, that kind of thing. Then he just went, I'm done. Yeah.
I found that whole scene really irritating though, actually, with Tegan, because she completely went over the top that they'd missed it by 300 or 300 years. It's a time machine. They just get there in the end. What's the big deal? She's getting really uppity about having a massive strap, and she's like, at least a broken clock keeps better time. It's calm down, Tegan. This is a bit pathetic.
I think Jeanette Fielding wasn't that happy with her acting either in this.
It was shit. It was, to be fair.
It was only a fourth story.
Yeah, but look at Adrix. It was his third, whatever, and it was brilliant.
Fuck off, Craig. I mean, I'm going to say this now. I love Matthew Waterhouse as a person. Is awesome. He's a great and lovely man. But he was 18 and very cocky, which he'll openly admit. And he had no reason to be cocky, put it that way. He's no fucking Wayne Rooney of the acting world, is he? Do you know what I mean?
Have you not seen his panty liners in those panty lines in the trousers? He's got lots of reasons to be cocky.
Is Adric got a massive dick?
No, I can just see pant lines. You can't see anything else. It's probably strapped in. It was a BBC children's programme.
Panty lines.
You can see his VPL, his visible pant line. Never heard that phrase. But
why do you know about...
see where his underwear is.
Why are you bothered about that?
Well, I was one of
some cock.
Oh, well. I'm going to tease. You got to build up steady. You got to stand up a bit.
You guys have given Tegan a bit of a roasting for her attitude.
I know where he's going.
But not that sort of roasting. No, I think I liked Tegan when I first, because that's kind of. Well, yeah, for that reason particularly, maybe.
She's just all cleavage in mouth, isn't she?
No, but she was. I liked her attitude. I liked her spunk.
Yeah, no, she has a lot of spunk, John. You're right.
See, when you're a kid, when you're a kid and you're watching this, right? The TARDIS crew were great because you wanted to be Adric, right? And Adric, you can't.
I mean, you could have been Adric. He was that bad.
Yeah. This is it. As an 11-year-old, you ain't going to notice the acting choices that he's making. You're just going to be watching story, and Adric being great in it. Tegan maybe had a bit of a strop, but she was fantastic. The Jenna Fieldy was great, and Nyssa again. When she was with Peter Davidson by herself, she was fantastic. And then she had whole scenes where she was just by herself. But when you're watching it back in the day, you just think it's a great TARDIS team. They all had things to do.
Well,
watching it later,
well, it came across that way, but they don't, do they? Like you said already about Nyssa and the box, and and Adric walking down that bloody field to the TARDIS so many times.
Nyssa wasn't meant to be in it though. That's the thing. So that's why they palmed her off or whatever.
But either way, I think that I like the pacing of it. I like the fact that it had lots of sort of gaps in it where people were doing stuff. And I know you guys are criticising it because of it kind of lots of walk through the forest and pushing that box around. But I like that sort of stuff in TV. I like them to take a little bit of time to sort of. It's not. We're not
the background.
Well, we're all too eager to just we need 100% fucking octane fueled TV. Just whack past us for 42 minutes. Oh no, whatever. But but this I like a little bit of pacing, so you can see that the life on the TARDIS isn't necessarily all running up and down corridors and shouting at monsters. There is a little bit of the rest of it as well, and it was quite nice to see all that stuff. I think.
Well, that's what they do really well in the Davidson era. Is they sort of do have a lot more on board the TARDIS, sort of the like the Hartnell kind of thing, life on the TARDIS. Looking at seeing different rooms and all that.
I don't remember that I've ever seen different rooms in a TARDIS before.
Yeah, no, I don't think you did. No. Well, you do, but you see. I think you do see more of it in Davidson's, and you get to see how they definitely. I mean, did you know? I noticed and made a note about Tegan's pot china collection. She's got teacups and teapots. Have you seen what she has on her shelves? It's like, where the hell is this really attractive woman who's on board the TARDIS, who stumbles upon it by chance, really, doesn't she, in Logopolis? And there she's a lovely teapot selection in her room with clearly little metal bed. It just looks I say that does look naff.
I know, and I remember when that vibrator fell out of my drawer that time.
The thing is, this is supposed. I know. Right. The thing is with this story, look, Tegan just wants to go back to Heathrow, wants to go back and just jump back into a job. But the only problem she has got here is the fact that in Logopolis, just as she left with the doctor, her aunt had just been killed or died. Right, and when she jumps back in and just goes straight onto the plane, and there are going to be questions about what happened to your aunt, but she just doesn't seem to care. I need to get back to my job. I need to do this. That's one of the things that now irks me many years after the thing, the episode.
I want to touch on. Is it Michael Robbins?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
The Highwayman actor. Right.
Yeah,
He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love the character because he's playing an actor playing the character. But on the DVD extras, I don't know if you've watched them on the Blu-ray extras. There's something amiss about him and the cast because usually, with the pterodactyl fella, they're going, "Oh yeah, you lovely man." Da, da, da. With that, they kind of don't really say anything about Michael Robbins. It's really weird. Yeah. The only thing that they don't say anything particularly nice about him, apart from people that weren't there. So Mark Strickson and Sophie Aldred, when they're doing on the sofa, they're saying, "Oh, he's really good," but they obviously weren't on it, were they? But the ones that were on it, there's something amiss, and it sounds like when you read between the lines that he said, they basically said he was just there for a party. He just partied all the time. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he was like a bit of a pisshead or whatever, or a bit of a tyke. But there must have been something going on because they were like a bit dismissive of who is quite a major character and a character I imagine he wouldn't forget. So I don't know what's going on there.
The story is that he hated this. He hated being on Doctor Who. He just didn't want to be there. Right. So I think he just played up a bit during production, or he was a bit too mouthy. I don't know exactly what, as Bob says, because nobody seems to be commenting on it. But behind the scenes, some of the people have said he just didn't want to be there. And
I found that really, really weird. Yeah, he's a great, lovable character. So that's what I mean. Which I was quite surprised when they sort of asked about him. It was to the point where, I can't remember his name. It was just so weird. I've never seen the behind the sofa or behind the scenes or documentaries when they're like that with an actor, like not really saying anything. Is he still alive or is he?
Yeah, now he's passed away. He's passed away.
So I don't know if it's because he's passed away and it's whatever, and I don't know. It just felt a bit something weird for someone who was a terrific character. And for me, he played it absolutely mint. He's one of the highlights of this whole thing, really.
Yeah.
Richard Mace, the character, he was just great, wasn't he? All the way through. The theatrical nature of his character and the way he expressed himself. And then there's also the bits where he's trying to bow down to the gentry and say, look, you've got to do this way. You've got to go around to the tradesman's entrance space, right? And don't knock too hard. Don't be assertive.
Please knock with a little more humility.
And then there's a bit where Peter Davidson plays up to his cowardice. And he says he sort of mentioned that, but then right at the end he does stand up and tries to attack a pterodactyl, much to his.
But he's a great. He's proper a lovable, cool character, like a bit like a Jago and Lightfoot kind of thing, or Jago. Yeah. And he's just and I just thought it was a bit strange on the TV extras. But my favourite line in this, and I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but at the end when the fire starts, he shouts, "Night Watchman, bring the squirters and arouse the street." I was just like, did he just say that? I'm pretty sure he did. I didn't tell the subtitles because I wanted to take that away. Is that what he said? Yeah. Suky, what song are you going to play us this week? Because it's time for a song.
Right. I did have two choices, but
scrambling for his notepad.
Okay. I will look at the notes. Right. I did have two choices this week, but I decided not to go with the 18-minute long version that I was going to play. So I'm going to go with.
It's never stopped me before.
What were you got? 22 minutes you got the other week, John.
Well, the 18-minute one was from a group called Nectar, and from their album called The Other Side, and it was just called The Other Side. It was 18 minutes long.
What do they do with it? What sort of style are they?
It's just music, mate. That's all.
It's just music, mate.
Paul. So I'm going to pick Paul Weller from his new album, and it's the new album's called On Sunset, and it's called Old Father Time.
Is it out now, or is it actually?
It's out.
It's out now.
Is it out now? Yeah. When did it come out? Okay. Were you hanging out for it? I
did. Went to HMV, just stood outside, made sure I could
midnight
get all cassette.
Even though it's not been open. Cassette.
Yeah.
Mini disc.
Well, it was an 8-track, wasn't it? So I had to wait for it.
So this is Paul Weller with his new album and song. What's it all called again?
It's from his new album On Sunset, and it's called Old Father Time. Without looking at my notes, YouTubers.
Good choice, actually. I've not heard the song, so obviously I wouldn't listen to that type of music. It's not pop. But I did like the name of the title, Suky. I thought it was very impressively chosen. I was a bit jealous.
That's all good. Are we all right?
Yeah, all good.
Cool. Just gonna pour a bit of wine and then we'll get on. So yeah, part 2.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was. Sorry, go, Craig.
I was going to pour another. Pour a vodka. I think.
Yeah. Cool. I thought that was really weird on the extras. You go get your vodka.
These guests in the hall. These guests. If I go out, I'll get collared. Give it a minute.
But I thought that was really weird on the extras. Why they're a bit weird about Michael Robbins. I've never seen that before.
Well, if they don't want to slag off the actor, they ain't going to slag him off on camera. They'll just do it behind the scenes. But even on the Wikipedia, not the Wikipedia, the IMDb, it does say on there Michael Robbins just did not like this production. Peter Moffat didn't want him on the production. He wanted somebody else, but John Nathan Turner vetoed it and says you'd have in him.
Was he quite a big name or something? Or like
on the buses? He was Olive's husband on the buses.
He was very recognisable. I definitely recognised him.
Yeah, well, back in that day, I think that's a big name actor they're getting here.
Mm.
Well, I just thought you what, John?
It's a big role.
Yeah, I thought he was fucking nice. That's why I thought, why are they all being a bit weird? It's not like he was a shit sort of in the background actor, with it. So I thought it was a bit strange. But it was being British and polite, I imagine.
They probably were. They probably had some really bad horror tales that I could tell, but they ain't going to tell it on camera.
I bet Tom Baker would have told them. He loves it, doesn't he? You never know when he's telling the truth. I love Tom Baker. I love his...
Yeah, but knowing Tom Baker, he's probably one of his drinking mates.
He probably is, yeah. One of the actors, we were down the Duck and Drake and so and we bumped into Bonnie Langford. Wow, looked a bit of finish here as well. Kind of thing. That's probably what they do. Nick Treadwell. So he's coming on. Take your seats. We've not heard from him for a long time. Nick Treadwell.
We had him on the podcast last year for the film.
No, I mean he used to send us all the reviews all the time, didn't
he? Yeah, he used to. When I was doing some research on the Visitation, he's got a YouTube. He did have a YouTube channel.
Oh, everyone's got one now.
He was reviewing the Visitation on there.
They put any old shit on the YouTube, don't they, John?
Fucking do.
Police George's edited looks really nice and he's awesome. Whereas this is raw shite, viewers. Sucky's got his dick out.
Have I? How can you tell?
Because it's Adric, you can see. It's
yes, John. Love what you did there, mate. What's he doing? He's gone for a shit.
It must be a large vodka.
This is going too well, by the way. Too smooth.
Why'd you say that for?
I'll drop some cunts in later on. We'll be fine.
No, I don't mean. I just mean the technical aspect of it, John. Is that what I mean? It's your picking this week, John. Don't forget.
Am I?
You know you are, you bellend.
No, I fucking don't. Hold on. Right, let me just do some. I've written something down.
I thought I'd but I was pretty sure you're quite excited about what you were going to pick.
Yeah, I was, but I fucking forgot all about it. Yeah, I've got notes. I've got notes. It's fine.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that Check This Out podcast last time was absolutely hilarious. And I've never really laughed like that when I've been editing a podcast before. I don't know why, it was just so fun. Like, it was just really funny. The last three have been hilariously funny.
I've just been so far behind on them. I mean, I've only just started listening to
we had a proper ding dong. It was great.
Yeah. But it was good fun, like really good, just funny and good fun. Assimilation too. Fucking
yeah.
Have you like a bookend you though, Suky? I got you at the beginning, I put you at the end as well.
I haven't listened to the episode.
Yeah, I put so you're behind before I like Space the Final Frontier because I put the Kirk thing in. Yeah. I put you in over the going.
Yeah, I thought the music. I thought the music may have covered me up. You know, I wanted to be a bit more of a diva and make sure I stood out. But now the music.
Bashed you in and bashed you at the end of the podcast. It goes you as well. Bookended you.
Did you hear what I did, John?
What? Yeah, I've listened to the pod. Yeah. It was quality. I also watched the video of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was so hilarious.
It's really funny.
Yeah, we have a proper fight. It's great. But I mean,
we're good. It's what you need. It's good.
It's not a proper fight. It was clearly I was taking an alternative position to Lindsay as usual.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's good fun. It's funny. And I'm doing that. It's all good. It's just good fun. I think it's just hilarious.
I like how you better put the sensible one on your flipping bios.
Yeah,
both of you have.
Yeah. Both of them.
I've called myself the true sensible one.
Yeah. Was it because Lindsay put it up as a sensible one, and you went the true sensible one?
I was just thinking. I'm not having that. I've decided I'm the sensible one.
Oh, all right, Gloria, you back?
I have put it on the actual Check This Out Twitter account. Who is the proper one?
Excellent.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Greg, microphone, unplug, export Audacity, export the file.
It's going too well, Bob. It's your fucking fault, this. You might just be on mute, like.
I love it when he gets the wonky glasses and that. That's stressing. Export that. Is it MP3, Craig? Suky, you doing it? Come on, let's stop it.
You did it as well. Getting some quality. Suky can't do it. He's too uncharged.
It's about the best.
If anyone's wearing glasses, YouTubers, feel free to wonk them like Craig in his stress on technology. Is it exporting all right, Craig?
I think so.
Oh, your microphone's back. Lovely.
Yeah.
All I did was unplug it and plug it back in again.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, because so.
No, this is Craig's screen, everyone.
This is going on to the YouTube, Craig, before you share it.
Dennis Taylor's YouTube.
Dennis Taylor glasses, beautiful. What a reference.
Oh.
Can you see now?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
Right, so Audacity.
Gossip, what do you think?
Oh my. All right, Kel. Yeah. So it's just exporting the audio with
Yeah.
a standard preset. That's lovely.
is that right?
So it's going to be
Yeah.
fine, mate. Absolutely fine, not a problem. So when that's done, Craig,
Yeah.
go to edit and undo recording and just start recording again.
Hang on.
But don't touch anything right now.
I need to put the microphone back in, don't I?
Yes. Why has we got two Audacities open as well?
I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. So
Oh, that's yeah.
well, this was your recording, wasn't it? So that's
Yeah.
that's all right. So the matter.
Right.
So he's recorded on the one that doesn't say Craig Visitation.
Let's not Suky. Shh. Let's just
I don't know.
stop
I
that.
just I quite like the fact that on his screensaver, right, you got the moving images of you three, all of us at the top.
Don't you see that?
No, I don't get that on mine.
What do you get?
I just get the three of you in the little windows in the main block, and then nothing at the top. I'm just wondering because you're sharing the screen.
I pretty much always have it like that.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, that's what it looks like, isn't it?
So I have it.
Yeah, it's like that. It's alright.
That was going so well until I came back, and then it went. What did you do in my absence? Did one of you come over and mess around with my computer? It was working when I went, and it wasn't working when I came back. So I hate having that.
Craig, Bob goes, it's going great. This is, there's no. And all of a sudden, what happens?
Yeah,
I must be a bit confident about it. Yeah.
It's all right. It's 3.5 minutes left. We're good.
All right.
Stop touching stuff, Craig. Let's just get this exported. It's going to be absolutely fine. Does anyone need to go for a piss or a shit or feed a hamster? I don't know. Whatever people need to do.
No, I'm fully done. I got.
Well, no, you're not, because your fucking file's not fucking done, is it, Craig?
It's not my fault. That's to do with me. It's the Wi-Fi. Should better. I had BT on it this week, reading things. I had to have an engineer sent round because the Wi-Fi was so shit.
I've come to fix your broadband Wi-Fi.
Should be better Wi-Fi.
Would you like a mustache ride?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
See, I could quickly create myself a back screen now, couldn't I? I ran out of time to make myself a picture at the back. There was no way I was messing with that midway.
Anything, Craig.
But I've not touched anything. A back screen. That's what I call it.
John's foot's off.
Okay, that's a good picture there, Suky. Where's John gone? Oh, he's probably gone. He's gone for a shit.
I'm off to go have a piss.
Right, okay. How long's it got left? You're right. What are you eating, Suky?
You dick out
I've
for
just
YouTube,
discovered.
Suky.
Hey, what's that? What did he say?
I don't know. Can you take out?
I'm eating dark chocolate that I just discovered.
Okay.
I just discovered it on my back shelf here.
Oh, that's handy. It being there.
I forgot that it was there.
Oh, what type of dark chocolate is it, Suky? Tease me. I love chocolate.
It is green and black organic dark chocolate.
Oh, that's my. That is what. If I went to the fridge, I've got that, but with ginger in it. Oh, I love that. Oh, it's my favourite.
My daughter got me one of them as well. Right, and so I might ask her to get me. I don't know where she got them from.
Oh yeah. Oh, you get it from Sainsbury's and things like that. Really nice. Yeah. Green and black. It's nice.
I'll get some more later.
Yeah, it's quite light as well. And
It's not the first time you've had dark chocolate on your back shelf, is it, Suky?
that's disgusting.
I don't know what he means by that. Craig, what does he mean by that?
Literally, what I'm saying.
It just means that you like dark chocolate, and obviously you put it out the way, so it's hidden.
Yeah, but it says it in a way that it implies something else.
Well, sometimes you want to put something else down, like a tin of beans, but the dark chocolate's in the way as you're manoeuvring things around the cupboard.
Makes sense. Yeah,
So it's in the way.
it is.
And sometimes you just have to wipe.
I think he meant something else. Don't defend him, Craig.
It could be that it's maybe melted a little bit on the shelf as well, so it's got a bit sticky and tacky.
Yeah.
It was actually in this
Oh
room.
God, that's gross.
Sorry.
So what you've been up to there? Have you opened up there? Craig?
Oh yes, we have opened up. Yes, we are back again, and we're open. It's lovely. It's very nice. Yeah. So it's quite quiet. Well, it's not dead quiet, but it's quietish. Whitby itself isn't heaving at the moment, but it's getting there. We're virtually 4th of July now.
I mean, it's
For
good.
what we're offering, because obviously we can't offer everything. Nearly there, Bob.
Yeah, I've heard you like a bit of ginger in your Suky.
Well, remember, you're coming down to my place to share a bed with me. All right,
PJ. Yeah. What's the pajamas called again?
Got that pajama.
There you go. That's what we're doing. Sharing curry and pajamas.
That sounds
And a
perfect.
bed.
Pour
Please
him a little
remember to tell the
spoon.
viewers we're sharing the bed as well.
Yeah, we are. Like Mark and Wise.
Why have I not been invited to this party?
I've only got
'Cause
room
you'd
for
be-
one person in a bed.
And I think you don't want to take the risk. Right?
What, catching COVID?
You catch
Yeah.
more than COVID, lad.
I think we're virtually there, are we? It didn't do this last time, did it? Did we have to do this last time?
No.
No, that's why it went a bit wrong last time.
Oh, right, okay.
And it took me fucking age to edit. Hence, I'm being quite thing on this tonight.
No. I was going to ask.
Just
Cool.
gonna-
10, 9.
Longest 10
Cool.
minutes.
Right,
Right.
so just undo that, Craig. Edit. Oh, what are you doing? Cool, yeah. Oh, where have you gone? There you are. Edit.
Fuck off. It always does this.
Right.
Oh, fuck.
Click on the Audacity thing.
I
Don't
do.
just
Oh,
hover
that.
on it.
All right.
No.
No, I do click on it. I do.
How is
on
this
it.
happening?
It's not.
Ah.
He's doing it wrong.
I'm not, honestly.
Click on the not on the cross. Don't
Yeah,
close
on there.
it.
Yeah,
No,
on there.
not on the cross. Not fucking hell.
Right, that's it. I'll go up.
Yeah.
Don't click anything. Just go up.
It just comes off.
Up. Oh my god.
Right, file.
Cool.
You,
Yeah. No. Edit.
oh, yeah, it's only for writing down.
Go. Undo record. Yeah. Now, just close that down, Craig. Oh, that's
As in,
it.
yeah.
This one, yeah. Cool. And then see what happens. Wicked.
Still there at the
No.
bottom.
Yeah, because that is the file we should be recording on, which is fine. So just bear with me, Craig. Just put that down. Don't close it. Just minimize it. That's the little sad face. That's it. Yeah.
Sad face.
Just find where that is saved on your computer. That
Where it's
file.
saved.
Where
Yeah,
it
that's-
exported to.
Oh, okay, right. It'll be in. Hang on.
There we go.
Oh, fuck. Where's my stuff?
Bloody disgrace that desktop, lad. Disgrace.
Don't blame me.
Do you know, if you think it's blurred, it's different pictures on there, and they look all flesh coloured.
Yeah,
You
they
just
do. It looks
squint.
literally
No, I
like-
can open one up if you want and show you.
No,
Prove
don't fucking.
No.
it. I don't know. There's usually a Craig section. Let's have a look. Documents.
Rob,
Oh, that's all right. I know how to do it. Just forgot about this bit.
Welcome to IT.
Somebody shoot me in the head.
There it is.
So, right, Craig V's Audacity.
Craig Fizz. There it is.
Hang on. Yeah, but that's all. Is that an MP? Just right
Yes.
click on it.
The one below it is.
Properties. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So that's your first one, Craig.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I saved it as this. So yeah.
Cool. Just come out, click out of all that. Lovely jubilee. Back into
Now-
Audacity, Craig.
Now close down Skype and Audacity, Craig.
No, don't
Cool.
touch any of that. Any of that, John. What are you saying? You're insane.
Start recording.
And start recording, darling. Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to sync up again.
No need.
Yeah. That'll be all fine. So now, Craig, if you can please open up Skype. And then we can get back to this.
There you go.
Cool. Unshare your screen. Do the unshare thing. If you can hear Alfred crying, it's because he knows how to work a computer better than you, Craig. So he's getting super frustrated.
I think I did that really well.
Abilities.
You still still haven't stopped sharing though.
Stop sharing the fucking screen. That's it. Yes, fucking absolute master at this, aren't you now? Big lad. Big lad with his jarhead haircut, by the way. Looks very smart. I presume you've been to a professional to have that
I've
done.
been professional to have this done, yeah. It's very nice. I liked him running his hands through my hair.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so part 2 of the podcast. What did we just do? Your song, was it, Suky?
Yeah.
Right, cool. And that was Suky's choice. What was that, please, Suky?
It was
He's
Paul
doing it
Weller.
on purpose now for comedy effect. I know he is.
It's for the YouTubers, you know. Paul Weller, and it's from his new album On Sunset, and it's called Old Father Time.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, he also the Progtor Who, and we're reviewing the Peter Davidson adventure, The Visitation, and it's kind of it's positive-ish.
It's entirely positive for me. I think
it's these miserable bastards.
The Pteroleptors, without wanting to be critical of them, they're a bit shit.
Yeah,
and I didn't think it was quite interesting that like you've got robots, and every time he tells his robot to do something, it just stands there until he shouts "go" at it. I mean, it's like that's a shit robot. Just like give them the instructions, then you have to like press.
Well,
return.
you say that, John. I've just been watching the thick of it, and that's what Malcolm Tucker does. And they don't move until he tells them to fucking go. So it's like yeah. The pterodactyl thing, though, I think it was done. Well, it was done by 3 different departments. So like costume, makeup, and special effects for the animatronics a bit. So when you've got, I think it gets quite convoluted when you've got 3 departments dealing with something. And I think that sort of, and they never seem to fucking think about the actor in Doctor Who. You know, in classic Who anyway, they just think, oh, we'll make this really crazy, awesome thing, and it's going to be a bit shit. And then here we are, pterodactyl.
The thing with the pterodactyl, it does look impressive, but I think the budget didn't stretch to making it really work properly because it just looked like a cumbersome costume, a bloke in a cumbersome costume, right? And every time he moved, the whole body sort of moved as one. Right, so it just jarred a lot. It just made me think like a really, really bad children's TV show. Right, and this wasn't meant to be like that. I think it definitely paid off with having such a good actor playing the role. To be honest with you, I think if you had just someone doing it or whatever, I think he was quite adamant as well because I think they wanted to put an electric effect on his voice, and he was like, "Nah, too far." So he was like, yeah, fine with the mask, whatever. I'm not worried about people recognising, but I need to give this some character. And I think, I can't remember who was, one of the people on the Blu-ray extras was saying, and I heard a conversation with Peter Davidson and the guy that plays the pterodactyl, and the guy that plays the pterodactyl went, but Peter, what is my motivation? and he just pissed himself laughing. They were like,
But you know, you think that scene at the end when they kind of come into the building, the Great Fire of London, and there's those 2 pterodactyls huddled behind the door, kind of like waiting to ambush them. It's just so crap. It's really poor. You know, you've got the leader kind of blurting out, and no one checks around the room, no one checks the parameters, and they're just kind of like little kids giggling, well, not giggling, but cowering or waiting for the moment to ambush. And I just thought, as an adult now watching it, at the time as a kid, I loved that, but I just found it really naff, that scene. They looked rubbery whenever they moved. Yes. I know you've been raving about the actor, but to me, yes, it was his voice that did it. It was rich, it was textured, it was silky, and if it wasn't for his voice, the rest of it, he couldn't act because it was like in a bloody tight skirt, some kind of thing that it was in.
I must admit, I was thinking like, the Daleks, they're beaten by stairs. The Cybermen by gold. The pterodactyls by a high five. Come on, high five. Oh, you can't, you fucking little weird arm fuck.
Yeah.
You know, so they can defeat them with a high five. Probably.
I loved all the scarring.
The idea of
the Barber Camp or whatever.
Because he's a prisoner, wasn't he? He was a prisoner.
Yeah. That was genius.
Yeah.
And I did like the death scene as well, where seemed to pop balloons out of his head. Right, there's a nasty way to go being burnt away like that.
The concepts are great.
It just seemed full of Doctor Who cliches to me as watching back now. I mean, they did say in three of the 4 episodes, the Doctor will explain later. And that's the last one I reviewed with you guys was obviously Curse of Fatal Death, but we joked about that. And they did say that. And also the joke at the end of episode 1 about the oh, not again, as about to be executed, all the walking down corridors, and then like you just said, Suky, the kind of the death by the balloon, kind of the pus coming out. It felt like what you see with the Sontarans. It felt like what you see with everything. It did just feel like proper traditional Doctor Who, but at the same time, every element was cliched.
I'm going to put this out there. Eric Saywood, right? I'm not a massive fan of him as a personality, should we say, but take that out of the equation. He's probably the best writer of the 80s era.
What, over the Bakers? Pip and Chain?
Craig, fucking shut up.
I always get that response when I defend Pip and Chain.
Because they're shite. But I think if you look at his stories,
they're the
strongest stories. Obviously that's when he became script editor as well.
No,
I think his stories are the...
I can never say his surname.
Ben,
he wrote some cracking stories.
No, but I mean, in this particular, in the Davidson and Baker, like Colin Baker era, he was a bit of a saviour and a bit of a.
I'd go with that. Yeah,
he did decent stories basically, rather than fucking some of the mundane shite that we saw, really. But I think
Doomsday.
Yeah, I think he was kind of like a grumpy version of Terence Dicks. Do you see what I mean? And I've read his novel Slipback, and I've read other bits and pieces he does. He's a great writer, but he's a miserable fuck as well. Like he seems to be quite miserable. But is
he a good writer? Because I'm really tempted to buy Revelation of the Daleks because it's my classic favourite. But it's about £10, which is a lot of money for such a small book.
Buy Revelation. Revelation's brilliant. I've been just finished reading that, to be fair. Don't buy Resurrection.
Right, okay.
That's just a bit standard, but he's really gone to town, like RTD did and Moffat did with the books that they did, the Target ones. Yeah, it's definitely worth a go. Yeah.
Okay, because you can still buy it dead easy in Waterstones.
Yeah,
the books are on offer on Amazon for about £6.
Oh, are they? As in the hardback one.
Yeah, the hardback ones.
Oh, buy that. I think £6 for easily.
I think the two books are also coming out as Target paperbacks as well. In a few weeks' time, few months' time.
It's a bit luxurious, that hardback, a bit hard.
Well, it was cheaper than the paper than whatever else. So cheaper than Kindle, I think it was. But if you put there's loads of Target books that are coming out that keep getting put back next year. So I've been keen on Target stuff since we've started doing bits and pieces. So yeah, but yeah, it's worth it, Craig. Worth it.
Okay.
John.
Yes.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, John. Yeah.
What are you up to?
Just doing a podcast on Doctor Who.
Any good?
It's great fun, John. Yes.
I do like how the plague. We're in when the plague's in town. So that's like 1666 or something like that.
Yeah.
The closure of the theatres. Which is very pertinent to today's situation.
Very much, yeah.
Out of work actors, highwaymen, scared villagers in masks. I've seen all this shit somewhere before, but I really can't remember. But yeah,
I didn't even get that sort of how relevant this story is.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't think of it that way. No.
There's a good bit of mask wearing by the bandits. I think.
Oh, good God, yeah.
I think
Big loves the bandits. What?
It's almost as if like everybody that is in the medieval worlds, fucking not that kind of bandit, Bob.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Bum bandits.
What a mind Benny fucking did. I don't know what that means. Sorry, John, you were speaking normally.
I don't know. I can't. But I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, to be fair. It's just weird that there were so many. All the cast that were medieval people were all such good orators. Everybody in that show was a good orator. Even the peasants were good orators.
Yeah.
One of the peasants was American. I'm fairly certain. Well, he says something like, "Are you the doctor?" But he's such an American accent. Listen to it back and see whether you can hear that. But. Yeah,
there's a couple of sort of biggish things that happen in this. One is the death of the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, we've not talked about that, have we? Yeah.
Which J&T had a massive hard on about getting rid of, didn't he? Was it J&T? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a bit. I mean, I remember being very sad the first time I watched this and thinking, "Oh, not the Sonic," because it was such a. I mean, it was. I don't think it was never used like it is now. It was
so overused now, isn't it? Massively, yeah.
It used to be. I mean, Pertwee used it quite a lot for doing mines or whatever he did, but like it was mainly used to just open locked doors, wasn't it? Unless we're deadlock sealed and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a death of the sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, when that was destroyed, and I thought, oh, that's such a pity. And I just because I'd read about the sonic screwdriver in the books, and Tom Baker I think used it a few times in the previous series, and you just think, yeah. And I can understand when the Doctor says you've just like killed an old friend, and that did bring back a lot of feelings there. Pity. There's also when John was going on about the band, the villages and stuff. There's a bit where I quite like, which is where the android is sent to fetch Richard Mace and the Doctor from the barn, and he breaks in, comes through the door, crashes through the door with his hood on and that little death mask on his face, and then all of a sudden grabs a scythe of the one of the villagers.
The extra nearby,
So he's standing there. There's the proper image of death coming to scythe you down, like, and I was thinking that's a nice little thing by either, I don't know if it's Peter Moffat or
well, that's the thing. Peter Moffat's the director, obviously. Peter Moffat is Peter Davidson's real name, and I kind of always get into this whole thing with Peter Davidson, David Tennant, Georgina Moffat, who's now Georgina Tennant. So, and then you got Time Crash, which was written by Stephen Moffat for Peter Moffat, with David Tennant, who is married to his daughter and has children with his daughter. And he's a 10th Doctor. It's so confusing, isn't it? The whole Moffat sort of DT thing going on. Anyway, enough of that. That's just me and my thoughts.
The android, he was wearing cricket gloves.
Yes.
He was wearing cricket gloves.
I thought
Peter Davidson's made a fucking cricket costume.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson-esque. Not everything's fucking...
I nearly chose a Michael Jackson song for
Shiny Pop.
But then I forgot about it.
A white glove. Difference between a white glove and like Batter's bloody padded gloves.
that stood out. So even as a kid, just stood out. But the robot was a bit spangly, wasn't he? For somebody supposed to be
it was one of the better robots. It wasn't shit.
No, it wasn't shit. It didn't do anything. It looked good.
Yeah,
he couldn't even bloody get into the TARDIS properly. It was going staggering around.
It could twat Adric really well, and it looked fucking nice when he twatted him up back at head and knocked him out, little prick. And then 2, it was just cool. It was just a cool looking robot, and also it looked cool as death. And one of the big things in this is they did an intro without the TARDIS team, so they did the intro setting the scene with people that died.
Yeah. That introduction is awesome, I think, to be honest. It really sets the feel. It sets the time period. It sets the mystery. It sets the household. It gives the element, there's the android. Looking back, there's the android and there's the pterolepsil coming in. The Doctor kind of links back to it later where he's trying to work out where the gunshots were. It's a really clever start to that, actually. It pulled me in.
There's in that scene, there's a scene where they see the monster coming from a point of view shot of the monster.
Yeah.
The camera got towards them. And then you get the worst effect of like, oh, you've shot the monster. Let's have it falling down really slowly, just like that. Was there no effort made into doing this properly, or was it just...
It's difficult,
just
John.
Standards of the time.
There's some good heavy breathing going on there, though.
Yes.
My question was, is that genuinely the first time in Doctor Who that's happened? When you've had the scene set, had the scene set by, and then the cast disappeared, don't they? They're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that was quite a. I can't remember another story where that kind of thing happens. I know you get it in New Who a lot. Then you get the music and off it goes. But I can't think of.
I think it possibly is, Bob. I can't think of anything off the top of my head where it starts like that. What about Horror Fang Rock? Is that? Oh, that's before this, isn't it?
I mean, you have cast continuation. If anything happens, you see the cast.
They're all killed, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it, and they're done. It was quite a cool. I mean, Eric Saywood, like I say, he's great. I think he's a great writer for Doctor Who.
There's some great directorial choices in this as well. There's one scene where the sonic device, the massive vibrator Nissa makes for herself, when that is when that
she's
turns
got one
on,
funny out.
when that turns on and the shot is of the mirror, it's centered on the mirror, and the mirror starts shaking to show the vibration of. I thought that was a really good shot.
I thought that was just
an extra bit of work.
Yeah. It's like, what does it? The one thing I hate about
what's happened to you, Craig? What's happened to you? What was in that fucking glue?
You hard. The three of you ripped my soul out over 42. You took away all my.
This is your revenge.
It's just like it's like I hate all that scientific gobbledygook that makes no sense. I still don't know how they kill the android.
Gobble. What?
I love a gobble. Yeah, there's no doubt on that. Do that all day, but that kind of like, how did it make the android collapse? That made no sense whatsoever.
I think that did make it. I think that did make some sense.
Did it? How? Please tell me, John.
Well,
what
was it doing? What was it doing?
But it was walking in, then it fell to the floor.
Well, yeah.
It vibrated a lot. How did that work? Resonation of noise, or?
Oh my God, Chris, what have you turned into?
What's the matter with Craig?
It's fucking microphone.
Has it cracked?
I'm on Fender hooks waiting for it to go constantly. This is me on edge, man.
Well, like John, I thought that was a very creative and great decision by a director to get this mirror, obviously shaking the mirror, and it doesn't cost much money, so it was quite clever.
Yeah, it was effective.
I'm sorry, I think it was very Freudian. Nissa playing with a vibrating box in a bedroom.
Jesus Christ. Right, lads, quick fire. What notes you got left? Suky.
The two actors that played the Squire and his son, they're quite famous now. John Savin went on to become Fred Elliott in Coronation Street. It's the one that used to say, now. No,
that was Bruce. That was fucking Jim Bowen. He said, I say, Ashley, I say.
That's him. Yeah. Right. And then you got Anthony Carf, who many years later came back in Empress of Mars as the one that was that had been hung up, and but survived and then became a captain. But none of his men respected him. But of course, he was more best known these days as the commander in Nutrix. The other thing as well, they kept mentioning this key on the other side of the door. How do you get a key from the other side? Now, in them days, it used to have like the Great Egg Race and the Adventure Game and all this stuff on the telly, and they used to go around showing these little tricks. Whereas, you put a piece of paper under the door, that push the key through the other door, and the key drops on the piece of paper, and you pull the key from under the door.
That's on the assumption that the key isn't turned in the lock, because if it is, you can't do that.
You could fiddle it around and move the key.
Here he is, dodgy hoodie Suky. Dodgy.
Oh, the actual gap underneath was big enough for the key to fit under.
The gap was big enough. The gap was.
Was the gap big enough, Suky? Dodgy man. Oh, he knows, doesn't he?
I don't know. I'm just pointing it out from my childhood that these are great children's shows. And I also like the escape pod, the actual escape pod that they walked into.
Yeah.
Right, and that was a great little
useful
design.
Lines when it kind of blew up and the lines perfectly fit as it falls down. Well, they kind of do the thing to make the door so they can walk through to the escape pod.
Yeah,
and it fits beautifully. It's got, I mean, obviously it's designed that way, but it is very clever.
And the thing I didn't get was all of a sudden, because most of that's supposed to be under the ground, escape pod, but then they have a back door which surely must be underground, and so they're walking straight into Earth. So how they get out?
What do you mean?
Back door.
Oh, the back. Well, just be back door. Yeah, back door, innit? It's fine. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, actually, Suky. I never thought about that. The back door would have been buried underground, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How the hell are they going to get out? They'd have to dig
You
all the
don't-
way up.
You don't want to open up that fucking Pandora's box of things not making sense in Doctor Who, because you'll be fucking here forever.
Exactly. You two are like this. What's wrong with the pair?
I think you've broken them.
Yeah. What is wrong with you two? Come
The,
on, lads.
Did
they have muddy claws? Yeah, of course.
It'd be a massive shaft at the end of that back door, wouldn't it? So actually... to work the way.
It's okay. Carry on with your notes.
I'm just going to say, also, when they mentioned the Great Fire of London in 1666, as an 11-year-old, I was there telling my friends, do you know the Doctor calls that The doctor calls that, and I remember my friends
Yeah.
saying,
Friends.
"Go away, just go away,
You little fucking idiot."
just go away."
Have you got any more?
That's my notes all done, I think.
Excellent.
Me? Did you say?
That's your name?
Wow. Right, okay, so a couple of my notes are, my first introduction to Adric is he's fucking annoying, that's what I wrote. Tegan is lovely, that I wrote as well. I think there are, I mean, why is Adric even in Doctor Who? Was he there because, like Chekhov in Star Trek, just someone younger, the younger generation to follow?
He was there for young boys to think they could be on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Craig,
not for Craig. Yeah.
Craig, you fancy him, don't you, Adric? You did fancy him when you were a young man.
Kid, yeah, as a kid. Well, I didn't quite get it as
You
fancy him. I was only about 11 at the time. When I was 11, I saw him as a kind of, I wanted to be like him. So looking back, I might have fancied him. But at the time, I wanted to be him. I wanted to be part of the TARDIS crew. I wanted to be him on the TARDIS. I could associate him more than anyone else.
Don't fucking point at me, Suky, on YouTube.
I panicked then. I thought the microphone had gone off, Suky. Don't do that to me.
Suky, it's my notes. You keep your mouth shut.
I was just going to agree with Craig because I liked watching Adric because he's somebody in the TARDIS, and I was just thinking, I agreed with Craig, and Craig decides to walk away.
Yes.
Yeah, Craig just fucked off for no reason. John, have you got any more notes left?
Yes. Why does Doctor say not again? Is there a previous example of him having his head cut off, or was that just for the gags?
Oh, he's been in many a pickle, John. Of course he has. It's just
Peter Davidson, 2 stories before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to Doomsday. A story to call 4 to Doomsday is about to have his head chopped off, and that was a cliffhanger to an episode. And what happens?
I tell you
stories
what,
later.
Peter Davidson, I've got to say, is I think between him and Patrick Troughton, they're the best actors to play Doctor Who. I know you got Tom Baker on that, but I think acting wise, or as actors, I think Peter Davidson and Patrick Troughton are the best actors to play a Doctor Who. For me, anyway, personally. John,
because
sorry,
they weren't playing themselves, were they?
No.
Whereas the others.
Yeah, well, Tom Baker was definitely playing himself. Yeah. And where he was. John, carry on.
Swiss Army paperclip that appears a couple of times, where it's fixed his various things. I think as well that was following the Sonic's demise. Yeah, why don't they use just stuff around the place? You don't need a Sonic to open stuff. You just need to know stuff. That
was kind of the point. They were getting sick of getting out of places and stuff like that. So
and yeah, my last note is Nissa building a massive vibrator. So that's pretty much all I've got for this. Yeah.
Craig, where did you go then?
Oh, I had some guests knock on the door, so I had to go and do some work for a second, believe it or not.
In fucking podcast, did you tell him?
I had to apologise because I was talking to myself as far as they were concerned, because they could hear me going, chatting away and no reply. So I felt a bit of a dick when I heard the door go, to be honest. Not, oh shit. Yeah.
It's a Whitby. Fucking
he's like Bates Motel. He talks to his mother. Gets no reply.
Amazing. You got much left in Craig in tank?
Only a few things, to be honest. I just did a few things that I didn't like about this, and that was things like predictable cliffhangers, bit hammy acting in parts, rubber monsters, clunky lines, spare part Nissa. I did love, and I love what Suky said before. For me as a kid, I loved the fact that it brought in the historicals like Earthshock did, the demise of the dinosaurs, the plague, the Great Fire of London. I loved that. Loved Richard Mace. Good story twists at times. They explain later, a bit cheesy as well there. Love the Grim Reaper costume. The only thing I've not really talked about is just there's a couple of really dodgy scenes as well, like when they're in the where is it? I think it's when they're in the sunken bit and they've got the doors open and you can tell it's like painted trees outside. It really made me laugh. It was quite entertaining. But I did love the look of the Pterodactyl. That was it for me. We've talked about everything else, to be honest. Sloppy thirds.
Yeah, cool. Well, nice. overall, it's kind of positive. It's been a story we can actually talk about because there's substance to it. Unlike 42, Craig. Anyway, let's
get over it.
Get him, Craig. Get him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 42 has got so much better supporting cast. It's got much grittier action. It's sweaty. It's dirty. It's action-packed. It's emotional. It's better directed.
Yeah, you're talking shit, Craig.
Don't do the wave of the hands, my heart.
Totally watched it myself, and you're totally wrong.
Do you know what I'm choosing next time? It's my choice. 42 again.
but
He's got all
Part
angry.
two, the return.
You can't do that. What's happened to Craig? He's become this
A monster.
I've got
We
a
might
4
have to
weeks
have
of pent anger about
It's
this.
all right. We'll book you for
I like this new version of Craig.
yeah, we'll book you for a review meeting at some point, Craig. Right, cool. Well, let's put some Dylan's of Whitby out of 10 on this because we're gonna
Come on.
promote Craig's B&B. Best
Absolutely.
B&B,
Back
Michelin
open
star winning in Whitby.
Yeah.
Dylan's of Whitby out of 10 on this.
Cheers, Bob. Go high, boys.
Are we all right?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got that. Close the bell.
Close the bell. Does that mean it's me then, Bob?
No, of course it doesn't, Craig.
I need to do a Suky on this. I can't remember the name of this actress for the
It
life of
does-
me.
Read out loud.
It does look a little bit like Suky smoking a reefer, by the way, when he has his
course
head
he
in
is.
his mouth.
Fucking dodgy as hell. Uddy, reefer, fucking mixed up.
She looked so much like Cameron by Condovia.
She really did.
Yeah, I never
She
thought
did.
that until you said it.
I
Amazing.
don't think about it until you mentioned it.
Yeah, I bet you're thinking about you dirty old man. Are we good? For YouTubers. Right. Okay. So let's put the number one B&B in Whitby, Michelin star breakfast, Dylan's in Whitby out of 10 on this bad boy. Craig, I'm going to come to you first. Put some dylansofwhitby.com.
Well,
It's .com. What's your website called?
Dylansofwhitby.co.uk. I had to think then for a second.
Fucking
Well,
awesome.
obviously, if it's out of Dylan's out of 10, it's got to be 10 out of 10. But that would feel very ambitious. Do you know, childhood nostalgia? I want to give it 8. Actuality as an adult, lower than that. So I'm gonna go 6 point. No, I'm gonna go 7. 7 out of 10. 7 Dylan's is.
No,
7 Dylan's out of 10.
dylansofwhitby.co.uk out of 10.
Yeah.
Suky, what Dylan's
Full direct on the website is always cheaper.
What dylansofwhitby.co.uk would you fucking shut up? I'm doing the advertising. It's fine, Craig. What dylansofwhitby.co.uk out of 10
Right.
would you give this, Suky?
For Craig,
Craig.
for Craig, Dylan's of Whitby is going to be 10. But for the story, it's going to be 7. I mean, it's got some issues that I've now thought about 30 years after I first watched it, 40 years after I first watched it. And so I'm going to just mark it sort of average, but above average, 7 out of 10.
7?
Yeah.
John, what dylansofwhitby.co.uk, best B&B in Whitby and greatest Michelin star breakfast, would you give this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it because I don't agree with Craig's massively negative position.
What's wrong with him?
Despite the fact he's given it a 7, which is in my mind a decent score.
Yeah,
It's a decent story. Come on, I've got to be critical sometimes.
I think it's just when when you're coming off glue. I think this is what it's called.
Yeah, it's called a come
I've
down.
been in detox for the last 2 weeks.
Rehab.
Only released early today.
Been an intervention.
He's been in a sticky situation.
Or many a
Go on,
time.
John.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm just waiting for you fuckers to finish. To be fair,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Might
give it
take
8.
a while.
8
I'm gonna-
dylansofwhitby.co.uk.
I haven't even finished.
What?
Whoa,
Yeah, you
would you-
finished. Shut the fuck up.
Everybody, shut the fuck up because I didn't even finish saying 8.5 out of 10.
Ah.
But you interrupted me as soon as I said 8 because fucking.
Ugh. Yeah. So
Oh, you love it, John. It's nice
Eight
having
and a half.
interrupted. That's a bit longer.
8.5 dylansofwhitby.co.uk.
Is that an edging joke? Oh my god.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right. So is it, oh yeah, I forgot. I've got to put a score on this too.
Oh my god.
I'm going
Interrupt.
to give.
Interrupt.
give
I'm just
very.
interrupting. There's no point. Just carry on interrupting, Bob. I'm wondering about how he's going to.
I want to know what Alfie thinks of it.
He's eating a tangerine. He's
Yeah,
eating food now.
Get a
He's doing
score.
self-weaning. He's doing self-weaning. He had some
get a score.
broccoli. He had some broccoli the other day. It was
I
like.
saw that. That was great. That was
He
yeah.
had some broccoli, and he
It's
looked
a
like it tastes
carrot.
like shit. So I gave him a joint and a bit of pizza. He fucking wolfed it down. So,
A bit like his dad.
yeah, fucking with it. So I'm a fat cunt right now. Okay, I'm going to give it a strong dylansofwhitby.co.uk. Best B&B in Whitby. Michelin star breakfast out of 10. There you go. Anyway, enough what we fucking think. Let's find out what you think.
What was the score? Did you give the score?
What was your score? You never said it.
Wrong, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Right.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Hey, good scores, though, Suky. They're a bit.
Did I not
they must
say?
be
I
high.
was too busy advertising your fucking business.
Me and you
Good
allow
for you,
them
Bob.
there.
Yeah, that's good to advertise. Definitely.
Yeah.
I
It's a
much
fantastic
appreciate it.
place. I mean, I stayed there once. It was literally like staying in some sort of crazy 5-star accommodation. Lots of fun and laughter. Great, lots of hot meat in your mouth on a morning.
Nice sausage. Tasty
Lots of
sausage.
fun,
Lovely,
lots of
lovely.
fun
All
and laughter
locally
bars.
sourced sausage, actually.
Nice and cheap, like a Richmond sausage. Anyway, let's fucking move on and find out what
I just imagine it's a bit like Slaughters.
Slaughters, aye. Plenty of meat, John. Plenty of meat, John. Oh, it's for another podcast. Right, let's find out what you think. It's listeners' feedback. Fucking hell.
Holy fucking shit. Right, hold on.
Sorry. Right, I've just literally looked down, and Matthew has clearly been attacking my doctor. You can't see it. My Doctor Who. Where's my camera? My Doctor Who note booklet, and he's put on it. It just turned to page 1. It's got robot. It's drawn a dick, and then underneath it's got Professor Kettlewell. Brilliant, loads of hair and glasses, and he's written amazing hair. Wonder what his pubes are like. What the hell is that about? Sorry, I thought I'd just share that. It's my notes on
But
robot.
YouTubers. Drop a can, mate. So listeners' feedback. It's all in just that feedback section, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. And it's Benny and all that. Yeah, cool. Right. Oh, let's get me form. Do. My fingers are a bit moist, so I can't. Doesn't really work.
You shouldn't be rubbing them under your boobs, then, should you? Really?
That's where you get the sweat, John.
It is.
It is. Okay. Listeners' feedback. Well, we've been going on all this podcast, but I suppose that's our job. But let's more importantly find out what you think. It's listeners' feedback. We've had quite a bit again this week, so thank you very much. I'm going to come to you first, Suky.
Right, we've got Miles Northcott from Doctor Who's Line Is It Anyway? And they've still got that charity episode where they're raising money for NHS, so please check that out. And they've put... he's put one of the best Davidson stories. The pterodactyls were one of the last great monster creations of the classic era too, and deserved a return at some point. Brilliant music. Michael Robbins was superb as Richard Mace. What a voice that man had. Okay, so the android was a bit disco, but looked magnificent as death. And whilst I know it's not a universally popular thing, I really like the whole Pudding Lane Great Fire twist at the end. And if nothing else, this will always be remembered as a story that destroyed the sonic screwdriver forever, never to be seen again. Oh, hang on. Oh, well, anyway, love this one. 9,215 out of 10,000.
You missed a word out there, Suky.
Yeah, bollocks.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. That'll do. Edit that in then, Bob.
Well, no, I won't. This is how it's going to be. Cool. John Boy.
Dwayne Bunny says, I always enjoy this one. That android design is beautiful. Richard Mace is superb and would be great as a companion.
You will. Thanks,
Thanks,
Dwayne. Sirens of Audio. Don't forget to check him out as well. It's great doing the Big Finish stuff. Craig, surprised I'm giving this one to you for some reason.
I like the fact you give me Liam regularly, actually. It's always entertaining. Liam Dempsey. Hello, Liam. Definitely the top 5 Davidson stories. For the most part, this is a super strong pseudo-historical with a particularly impressive opening prologue. The death of the sonic screwdriver genuinely resonates thanks to Davidson's performance and Eric Saward's writing. It's a pretty impressive feat to make the destruction of an...
Resonates. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. Inanimate objects in any way moving. Pacey, action-packed, often thrilling. The only thing that lets this down is the too neat by half ending, which sees the Doctor influence historical events. Fuck that bullshit, but it's great overall. 8.3 out of 10. You couldn't give that one to Suky. You missed out half that last sentence.
There you go.
I just said fudge.
Oh my God, he's so polite and nice, isn't he? Yeah, but he'll fucking rob your house. Right, here we go. We've got another one here. That's Spotlight Podcast. I know, because you robbed me fucking white last time. Here we go. Daniel Winterbottom Stanley. Doctor Who has never been better. Sucky.
Hold on 1 second. Somebody's just asked me if I want chips. But anyway, sorry.
Fucking hell! What is it with you and your fucking chips? Who's asked you if you want chips? Are you going to have to give them the money?
No.
Give them the money. Give them the money.
No, they don't. If I do, you'd have to read out Mark's comments. No, I'll
read
do
them
Mark.
out and then give him money for chips.
Okay, good lad. Thank you. Right, Mark Atkinson, the lovely Mark, and he's put The Visitation is one of the stronger Peter Davidson stories. It was actually recorded second, so it's early days for his Doctor, but he's still great. A bit more bad-tempered and crotchety than we've come to expect him, but he plays it wonderful. The pterodactyl costumes are somehow good and crap at the same time, but I love how the actor who plays the leader speaks and the gravitas that he gives the role.
Gravitas! Big Doctor Who word, Progtor Who word.
Right, Nissa gets to spend 3 episodes building a vibrating machine very slowly, and Adric gets to fall over and act unconvincingly. Tegan wears a lot of makeup, doesn't she? I love the actor that plays Richard Mays too. Sure, he's over the top, but I love his voice and I enjoy the character. The sets are great, and I love the end scenes on Pudding Lane. It's certainly a strong debut for writer Eric Sayward, and you can see why he got offered the script editor role. It's an 8 out of 10 from me. Good luck with the podcast recording, guys. Miss you all, Mark. Cheers, Mark.
You too, Mark. Yeah, thank you very much indeed. He's so much more positive, isn't he? That now he's doing this shit with you lot.
Look what's happened to me. We've swapped.
No, yeah. But yeah, don't forget to check out Mark. He's got his gigs on a Tuesday. If you go to markatkinson.co.uk, all links are on there. And check him out. He's got a new album coming out very soon as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. John.
Dylan's of Whitby. What are we talking about? Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Shep's Deep Dive says, firstly, Miss Fielding is a delight to watch, but Adric, what a tool. Really didn't like his character. This 4-parter was well scripted and a lot of work on the sets. Michael Robbins' character has the best lines and shines in this role. The first 2 episodes are a nice slow burner. The full fun action of the last 2 episodes are great. Yes, the costumes are pants for viewing now, but the story stands up well. It's a good to watch Peter Davidson really getting into his stride as the Doctor. 8 out of 10. Cheers, Sheps.
I'd just like to ask about that line, actually, because it does. I can't work out in that first sentence if it's adoration or shock when it goes, Adric, what a tool. Or Adric, what a tool. Could go either way, really, depending on how it's pronounced.
Well, it's ironic. Cliff, it's ironic because Cliff could go either way as well. So, I mean, I don't really know.
he might have noticed that VPL as well.
VP fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't forget, check out Shep's Deep Dive podcast. Me and John are appearing on the latest episode, Man Bites a Dog. Fucking hell. Top lad Sheps, thanks for depping last time as well, because fucking glue sniffer got up to his own shenanigans again. You're always had it, Craig. You're always had it.
Well, once you do it once, I won't be here very often now, because
very Moorish
when the fix takes me.
Yeah.
I've not done it for a while.
Who was that character on Grange Hill that got into drugs and
Zamo, yeah.
Zamo, that's you.
Yeah.
You're Zamo.
Craig knew that straight away, didn't he? Craig knew that fucking straight away. All right, Zamo, come on, finally, Zamo, on the readers' feedback.
Oh, hang on.
Listeners' feedback.
Graham Cluley, some comments on the Visitation. There's some really delightful and charming stuff here. The prelude to the story where the family gets wiped out, never to be seen again. Michael Robbins' performance as the theatrical Richard Mace, giving us one of those gorgeous, colourful characters that hark back in the Roberts Holmes era of the show. Location filming, the pterodactyl's design complete with lip curl. We'd never seen anything like that in a monster before. Some hints at the story behind the scene with mention of the Tinclavic Mines of Prisoner of Raga, the Ealing filming for the fire at Pudding Lane. I really enjoyed this story as a young lad. The robot is kind of silly, but then why shouldn't it look like that? Based on this, you think I can never say his surname. I'll just say it. But Eric was a good choice. It was a good choice as a new script editor, although the years that followed might not fulfill his early promise. Ooh.
Thank you very much, Graham. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget to write in with your feedback for our next episode as well, which you'll find
Points
out
of view.
later. Fuck! Oh my! Oh, what is that? Oh, lads, it's the Cloister Bell.
Come on, about time as well.
We all know what that means. Craig's going to play some shit music. What are you going to play this week, Craig?
Oh, do you know, this week I've gone pure pop because I've been loving pop recently. It's about time. Suki, you don't have to walk out. Just come play the song.
Suki just fucking walks off.
Getting his chips, isn't he?
I've got to get me chips. I need some sustenance.
He's the scared to death what I'm going to play.
Fucking chip, what a potato.
This is Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. Just pure fun, really, to be honest. Cracking pop song. I'm sure Suky knows it.
By the way, it's Dua Lipa.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. I couldn't remember the name either. I had to do a Suky and write it down.
What is it called?
Don't Start Now. Don't start, Bob. Don't start now.
Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Got the chips now, Suky?
No, because the lad's gone off without me money, so I don't know if he's going to get me any chips. Thanks.
What, it's your son's fucked off. You don't get any chips down, you get his money, you tight cunt.
I just asked the daughter and she goes, he's gone, left you.
Oh, wow.
Child.
Fucking, if he don't get his chips, he's going to kick off, and he. Look at him.
Well, let's get this podcast finished so I can kick off in private. I don't want it broadcast on the YouTube.
Where's my fucking chips?
What's that picture of, John?
It's
like the Masters.
Firewalk with me.
It's the
It's
arm. It's the arm. Oh, it's the man from another place from Twin Peaks.
Right, okay.
Have you seen
I thought you were flashing your ring to us, that's all.
Have you seen Twin Peaks, Greg?
No, I never got into it. No.
I've just been getting into it. It's amazing. Right, fuckers. Let's do the last bit. Sorry, I've been watching too much to think of it. Very much so. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, what fucking horrendous shite was that, Craig?
That was an awesome pop song, Bob. Don't tell me you've not walked down your street with that playing on your headphones with a spring in your step.
Who was it by?
It was Dua. It's called Don't Start Now.
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa, that's it. That's what I meant. That's what I
Okay,
said,
well.
isn't it? Just
Have you fucking hell? Right, John, I need to book a care home soon. These two lads, they're fucked up.
It's starting to break down, isn't it?
I'll share a room with Suky as long as I can share his chips.
Yeah, you can share my chips now.
Yeah. Well, I want a curry and pyjama session at your Suky. We're going to do it one day.
One day.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's time to vote for this week's Benni.
Oh, my Bennis.
It's Benni time. Who do we think is? Let's vote for who we think's been the best host on this episode. I'm going to come to you first, Suky.
I quite like the fact that Craig knew what he was doing and well couched and everything, and he seemed to know everything with all the technical. With all the technical difficulties that he had encountered, he had no help from anybody whatsoever, and he did it all by himself. So I'm going to vote for Craig.
Hey, cheers, Suky. I'm not
no
sure
worries, mate.
Yeah, that might make sense to the edited audio podcast.
Yes, it will. Who cares?
Oh,
in the podcast, it'll be great.
I mean, that's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, thank you, John.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Benni.
All right.
Benni.
No, this is like.
Have you been on the glue as well?
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for you lot. Honestly, I think this has been one of those episodes where every one of you has irked me in some way. So
what have I done, John?
So what I'm
I was going to give you the Benni as well. You can piss off now.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Craig has been off on this episode. I can't give it to him. That's like positive reinforcement of bad behaviour. I can't be doing it. My natural state of affairs is never to vote for Bob because that's just the situation.
Yeah.
But Suky's wearing a Liverpool tour and he's generally really positive. So but fuck him. I'm going to vote for you, Bob.
Thanks, John. Yeah.
Oh, Suky, you would have led on then.
Well, I would have gone for Suky, but he got too excited and preempted the win, so I had to let him down.
You had to let him down quick.
Preempted the win, you piece of quim. Okay, I mean, Craig.
Well, despite the onslaught that he just gave me, I'm actually giving my Benni to John. Yeah, I am, because I'll tell you why. Because you were the most positive about this in many ways, and it was really lovely to re-watch the Visitation through that adoration, the positive eyes, where I've got a little bit cynical about it over the years. Much so I did love it. Yeah. So I'm giving my Benni to John.
No, thank you very much.
Yes.
Everything I said.
Yeah, too late now. Too late now, you get it.
Craig's got a Benni.
Still giving it you.
So Craig's got who's got a Benni? So Suky's got a Benni? Suky got a Benni? No, he didn't get a main, did he?
No.
He's not going to get any from me. I'm giving it to John because John has been more positive than Perry. You pair of grumps.
I'm always positive. You've got to be different sometimes.
This is what sort of weird fucking world are we living in where Craig and Suky are the ones that are negative?
You can't have the same sort of podcast every time.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to change.
We're not fucking actors.
It's not even like the two of us teamed up to agree. This little kind of thing. It's quite. Me and Suky, I tell you, we're telepathically linked. Apart from the IT stuff, because he's good at it.
He really fucking isn't.
He really fucking isn't. No, he's not.
Really not. Oh, cool. So John, you've won Benny. Actually, someone else won Benny.
Thank you very much.
Well done. I'll give you a reach round next time I see you and whisper in your ear. Real nice. Anyway, enough of this. Let's find out what we're going to watch and reviewing next time. John, put us out of our misery. What are we going to be reviewing next time?
Well, I was told 2 weeks ago that I was going to be picking a Doctor Who, so I had a quick think and then forgot all about it until about 10 minutes ago when Bob told me I was doing the picking of the new one. But luckily, I'd written a couple of options down. I had written down Robots of Death, the Tom Baker and Leela one.
We've done that, haven't we?
No. Not according to the log.
Robots of Death.
No. We might have watched it recently. It came out on the last box set, didn't it?
No,
so you
never,
might be thinking...
never reviewed that episode.
No.
Johnny's picking him out the hat like classics. Go on.
I haven't picked that one yet, but the other choice was The Greatest Show on the Galaxy.
We've done that.
No.
We've never done The Greatest Show on the Galaxy.
So I decided to get a coin and one it'll be. I don't have a fucking coin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw this bit of wood in the air.
Well, what I'm going to say to you, John, is we've
watched Death.
Have you pre-treated that?
Oh no, hang on, John. I was just going to say, you can't cheat wood. But what I will say, John, is that we have done. You were wanting to watch each of the Doctors. You've done Baker. You've not done McCoy.
Yeah, I know.
Don't be influenced by his favourite Doctor.
Bob will not. No, I'm not.
I had a quick look at the premises for both of them, and The Greatest Show in the Galaxy looked shit, but the Robots of Death looked good. Is that not the case?
I'm not going to comment. Part of the fun is watching ones that shit as well.
I'm happy to be convinced otherwise, Bob. If you recommend it would be decent, then I'm happy to do it. Yeah, in that case.
Oh, look at those eyes! It's longing without. It's like you're just teasing him, John, because you're talking about his
I can't believe
favourite
you've never done Greatest Show before. I've seen Robots of Death loads of times.
Yeah, I have as well, actually, and recently. But I'm happy to do it.
So it's definitely The Greatest Show in the Galaxy then.
Greatest Show.
Yes! I mean, cool, whatever. I'm not bothered. Not
bothered about it.
To be fair, I'd forgotten that I was trying to get all the Doctors ticked off. I'd forgotten about that. But
I reminded that, John. So then we've only got Troughton left, haven't we? So who's picking? After that's me. So I will probably pick a Troughton. So that's cool. And we'll get it all. We'll get them all. We'll get all the Doctors under your belt, John. So next time we are reviewing The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Oh, fucking yes. So that's cool. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to Progtor Who and putting up with our shit. This is going out on YouTube, don't forget. Search Progtor Who on YouTube. This will be out maybe today or tomorrow, I don't know. Depends when I can be asked to do it, and it depends how much Craig sends me that I need to edit. And also, thank you very much. And we need a song, John, to play us out.
Well, due to being the Fire of London in this episode, I've picked something that has at least some tangential relevance to actual fires.
Like my fire.
It's not. But
you like that song? Do you like an actual cool song? Like
I nearly chose it. That was nearly my choice, but
not Mike Flower Pops, the actual song by the Doors.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just check it.
Yeah. I like the Will Young cover version as well.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Sorry, John. What were you saying?
It's The Prodigy and Firestarter.
Yes! What a fucking
song.
tune! That is the best. I love you, John. I love you. I'm pleased to vote for you. So we've got The Great Show in the Galaxy, and I'm the fucking Firestarter. Bye! 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 Bye!